That was a motherfucking lie. When have I ever, anybody who knows me outside or like in real life, when have I ever just disappeared and not show like some grand exit or some grand entrance? Like, that's just not how I get down. But we're about to start season 2 and we are on a new level, a new energy and a new vibe. And I'm looking forward to season 2. I think now that I reflect back from season 1, there's a lot of things that I want to kind of change and make a little different. Season 1, I felt like was too structured. You weren't getting to see the candid version of myself, and I felt like it was too forceful. So I want to come on and I want to have our first season 2 episode be just me and you, and let's just chat and talk about what I've been up to. So I've been traveling a lot, and let me start by saying the hiatus that I just came back from, it was all like the universe, God, spirit, however you want to utilize it or name it or call it. And it was just me not resisting anything that came my way. I purposely tried to say yes to every opportunity that fell on my lap. And one trip led into 2 trips, led into 3 trips, led into me wanting to go here and go there and just utilize something that a lot of people run from, and that's my curiosity. A lot of people don't know that your curiosity is slept on. And you guys think and get confused with curiosity and intuition. 2 completely different things, but they feel very similar. And the reason why I feel like people get those 2 things mixed up is a lot of times you'll be at a point where you are either creatively on a block or at a block, or you're just at a point in life where you don't know where you want to go. And a lot of times you don't necessarily know how to pick it up and how to keep it going. And what people don't know is if you act on that curiosity is usually the answer, or to lead you to the answer to get to going where you're trying to go. So I utilize the time for that. I utilize the time to pour back into myself. And I'm just going to be honest. I have to learn how to say stop. Take a breather, because I was punching like nonstop from September all the way till whenever I went on my little hiatus. And it was, I get it, I got people helping me, but technically it was a one-man show. And I wanted to sit back, I wanted to revamp, and I wanted to say fuck all that shit, because ain't none of this you. Structure, and then also burning out. That's just not how you do it. So I'm excited. As you can see, we have a new setting, a new arena, a new setup, and I'm quite excited about it. This was inspired by Kim, and y'all don't know Kim, and I'm pretty sure y'all will hear of Kim, y'all will see Kim, and I plan on having her on. But Kim is Diego's addition, his other half. You know, Diego done got a hold of some good, or either, well, I'm gonna say she's a winner. She's a winner. Diego is here, and I want to tell you, Diego, you got a winner. Don't fuck shit up. You tell me not to fuck shit up. Don't you fuck shit up, because you're gonna have a hard time explaining why you fucked that one up. Anyways, I wasn't call Diego out because I wanted it to be intimate, but actually, Diego, you saw season 1. Like, what was your take back from season 1, and from what you've heard with me and how I want season 2 to be? What do you think you learned from season 1?
It was fun, and it was a good learning experience, and I think it's gonna get nothing but better. But I think it was a good trial and error, just seeing how it was. But I think season 1 was great because it hit a lot of topics. But I think season 2 is gonna hit a lot more topics and we have our own style now. So I think it's gonna be good.
I do too. You know, it's a lot of things that I would change. I'm lying. I wouldn't change anything, because I think, like you said, season 1 was a good learning experience. What it taught me most was how to not give a damn what anyone thinks. And I thought like I was a resilient kind of person already, but the internet really, really taught me just go balls to the wall. And usually those cringeworthy things are the things that people want to hear or see on the internet. So I completely agree with you on that 100%. Now, Kim is a watcher too, and I was asking Kim, like, you know, what did you think, and you know, your response, and this, that, and the third. And Kim pretty much gave me the same feedback. Kim, you don't want to be on this, do you? Or will you talk? Okay, you gotta talk loud, because our mic. Diego, Test it out. Say something real quick. Loud.
So.
Can you pick that up? Did you pick that up?
Testing.
We're going to get Kim mic'd up because she would actually be my most accurate, I guess, critic, knowing that she was watching our podcast and support of her boo thing and watching it from day one. So I definitely want to hear her speak on her end. Kim, you've been watching this since day one pretty much, and I think your feedback is probably the most honest feedback and relevant feedback in my eyes that I care about. So what did you think about season 1, and what would you like to see in season 2?
Well, like I told you before, I would rather see you and Diego's dynamic and you by yourself. Again, to reiterate, I want you to find the balance between your candid conversation and your organized topics. Have your topics be something that you can go off the handle and just really go into. That way you have something that you can hit on each point and you can have a good flow of conversation, but then you can let your personality out and you can really showcase your skills as far as just picking up and talking about almost anything, the way that you talk about things. So just finding the balance between the two, because you're gonna need the both. If you go too candid, you're gonna ramble the whole session. But if you have those key points, you can hit it and quit it and, just make it flow a little bit better.
That is something that I think I walk away learning, and I heard by multiple people. Now, I'm gonna be 100 with you. I thought y'all weren't listening to me. I thought y'all weren't looking at us. I thought y'all was not paying. Like, I really thought nobody would notice me not being on the internet. But I knew shit was real when I was in the club. Bulldogs out of all clubs, and I was with Sean and Leprechaun, and someone walked up to us after we just got done talking about when we were gonna start back recording, and somebody was like, hey, when y'all gonna drop another episode? And I was like, you watch my shit? And he was like, yeah, I wouldn't be asking if I didn't. So that was kind of cool. And any creators out there that feel like you ain't being heard or said or heard or seen, I just want to let you know, people watch, especially if you're spreading your content throughout all platforms. Them little views, it might look like crumbs, but it adds up to a whole loaf of bread. So keep going. And don't forget, sometimes you're hidden because you're not ripe enough to be exposed. And you're like, well, damn, well, when I am ready, how does it go down? Like, nobody ever talks about that. I promise you, people just start seeing you. They just start waking the fuck up, and your shit start getting pushed out in more places. And the next thing you know, the work pays off. So shout out to any content creators with that. Now let's get to the shit that really matters. My niggas, my dating life, my men's. Ain't shit changed. I ain't shit changed. I'm F-R-E-E fuck. I don't know the words to that song. I think it's something like that. Anyways, I'm chilling, doing my own thing, still dating myself. That's what it is. I'm dating myself with the company of others. If I had to title the chapter of the dating book of my books, this chapter would be Get Out My Damn Face Playing. I have literally come to realize, y'all, don't fall for this shit. People will come and get in your face. They will slide in your DMs. Your exes will circle back around and put that shit in your ear just to see your reaction. For the person in the back, the person that you used to date that just popped back up, that said they want to, they see you're looking good and all that. They just trying to see if they still got it. That's it. Don't fall for it. Don't start cutting off people because you think you and your ex getting back together. It just don't work that way. People will fuck with you just to see if they still got it. And also during this whole hiatus, I've learned my value. And I've learned to utilize my power in my way, in my best ways. And I have just been very open with everything. So I'm very sensitive to people who are just in my arena to feed off of my energy. And I'm very sensitive with people who get to actually spend time with me and I allow to get close to me. That don't mean I'm brokenhearted. That don't mean I'm guarded. That don't mean none of that shit. It just means I'm smart as hell and I'm gonna keep on moving that way. Now, I have been dabbling in all different kind of lifestyles, and that's been fun. And I think maybe later on in season 2, we'll go into that. But for the most part, just not giving a fuck is where I am right now in the love department. I can't complain. I know it sounds all good and dandy, but I don't want anyone to think that I'm not human or present in life. I mean, I do have shit. I also have learned throughout this hiatus that you better be your own best friend. You got to be your own fucking best friend. Let me tell you, and that goes, it goes in two aspects. It goes in a platonic aspect, and it also goes in a relationship, I think, romantic. And then I also think it goes with your family. And I even recorded a podcast by myself. It was so cute. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see that reels where I was setting it up. Some of you bitches said it looked like I was setting up a porn scene. Y'all know good and damn well I wasn't gonna do no damn porn. My great aunts look at this shit. So no, I wasn't gonna do no porn. And it would have been posted on OnlyFans. But that's besides anything else. But I did it, and I looked great, and it was a great conversation. It was really the first time that I just literally just recorded a podcast by myself 100% from start to end, because I rely on Diego heavily. But get back here to edit it, the shit did not, like, you could barely hear the audio, and I was so mad because I just knew it was going to be such a good episode. But it came to me on my way home. Well, once I looked at it and realized it didn't work, that it wasn't time. The purpose of this person to come in my life and kind of trying to interrupt my plans was really to give me another assignment, and that was just to get back into the camera on a solo aspect, which, like literally Kim just said, she wished she saw more. So that's that aspect of being your own best friend, because I wouldn't have went on that trip if I would have canceled it and didn't have the curiosity to see what it was like to go ride up to the north with someone that you barely know. Anyways, when it comes to romance, it's easy. You just don't want to lose yourself in romance. I mean, what good are you as a partner if you merge everything and lose your identity? Like, that's why they're with you. I'm not gonna harp on that because we talk about dating enough, and hopefully I can get Will on this season, because Will done upgraded, y'all. Will is fresh as hell now. So maybe I can get him on, maybe I can't, y'all. I don't damn know. We'll try. Why you laughing, D? Why? Oh, okay. So let's talk about the family aspect though. Now, on TikTok years ago actually by now, I did a TikTok and I was talking about the difference between relatives and family, right? And I didn't know there was a third category, all right? And the third category is just straight up, I know you people, right? I have been put in a situation where it was revealed to me that I had family members, and I'm gonna talk. First of all, before I say this, because I know some of these family members watch the podcast, I'm speaking for myself. I'm speaking for Rashad. I'm not speaking for nobody. I'm not speaking for my mama, my daddy, my brothers, my cousins, my friends. I'm solely speaking from Rashad's point of view. And I feel like this isn't talked about because people, especially in our black culture, you're silenced in a sense, especially when you're from the South. But I always got a weird vibe from a certain side of my family. I think everybody goes through that. Everybody has these issues. And at the end of the day, I've talked about it, and then I've talked about it amongst my siblings, and I've also compared one side of my family to another side of my family, and it took me a couple of years to figure out why they weren't balancing out, right? But let's go back to the main principal issue. One side of my family that I always get the weird vibes from. So we have a tradition where we do a cookout, kind of like a summer kickoff cookout, every year in representation. Is it grandma's birthday or grandpa's birthday?
It's their anniversary, I think.
Anniversary. So on our great grandparents' anniversary, we usually do a cookout. Now, we've been doing this cookout for how long?
Like 30 years.
Yeah, like
probably 35, 40 years. Probably before you were born. So like about 40 years.
They
probably.
started like because they died when they both passed. That's when they started doing it.
It was in like that. It was like
and
in
it was in the 90s. Yeah.
So it's still about 30 years.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a long time, but we do fundraisers for it. Typically, we do cookouts. We always frying fish
fries,
car wash. I think we did one year. We always doing something to fundraise for this particular family day. Now, let me describe this cookout, and this is where the vibes come in. Certain people get access to certain foods. you have to, and only people who have tickets are welcomed. If anybody who doesn't have a ticket, or you've wronged someone, your +1, like most classy people get, your +1, they are unwelcomed. They're gonna look at them crazy. They're gonna watch everything that they eat. Then we got ones that want to be all up in your business but don't want to tell you anything that they got going on and try to portray like they're some perfect person. All of these vibes at a cookout, it's like a hot mess.
It's a lot, but it's very segregated.
Very segregated.
Like, you got people that stay in the house all day. And you got and I hate to say it, but it is colorism. You got a lot of lighter people. A lot of people are in the house, and they invite whoever they want to invite. And then you got the darker people who are outside. Mm-hmm. And it's only crazy because it's only 2 families, which we're involved in, that they don't really care about. Everybody else, they kiss their butts, they do whatever, they talk to them. And the crazy thing is, the 2 families that are excluded from most of this are the darker ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm going to break it down even further. My grandmother was literally the black sheep.
And she's the oldest and took care of all of her siblings.
And literally the black sheep. And my grandmother dedicated her life to take care of her kids, one, but also her siblings, and damn, even their kids.
Dropped out of middle school to go take care of her brothers and sisters and raise all of them. Now let me take this back. You know what? I'm removing myself because I'm speaking up for my grandmother at this point. Now, she has done this, and you guys are honoring your parents, but you don't invite your oldest sibling,
your eldest sibling, and their kids and their family,
and you invite them last minute.
And don't give me the excuse that you forgot, because that's even worse. So what is the excuse? When I say that jump started my whole summer in 22, I'm telling you, because now that I know that I don't have to, now that we know what it is, I can handle it accordingly from this situation. What are your thoughts, D? I hate to bring you in on this, and like I said, I was speaking for myself, so if anybody want to be petty, bring it this way. Don't bring it nowhere else. Not my mama, not my daddy, not my sister, not my grandma. If you got something to say, bring it my way. Matter of fact, I'll even invite you on and we can talk about it.
You know they ain't gonna do that.
I know they ain't got it. No.
It's crazy, man. My thought on it is just, it was sad. I mean, because we've been doing this for the last 30-something years, and us as kids was there. We was always there. We helped them set up. We helped them clean up. We brought stuff. Our uncles brought stuff like fish propane, all this type of stuff. And then just the way they did it. And it's like every year after probably the last 10 years, we just always noticed it was just distant more and more and more. But they wanted us to come.
To do the work.
But it was just distant.
And get the money.
It was distant.
Very distant.
And it's not, and it's crazy because it's not the cousins around like our age or a little bit older. It's the elders that are doing it. It's not really our cousins that are of our age.
No, these cousins are in their 40s.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what hurts me the most, because it's your job, it's your job to do what I'm doing right now. And that's breaking generational curses. It's your job to acknowledge those kind of things and say, we got to put that aside. It's time to treat people different nowadays.
Because if I was there and I knew I had some cousins, even if we wanted, hey, somebody get what's name number, let me reach it. Why they not here? Whoa. Yep. Are they working? Like, I need to know what's going on. I would hit them, hey, we're doing a cookout, blah, blah, blah. Nobody reached out to nobody.
You just had a cookout. And automatic, I was hitting up people.
Yeah.
Reggie just had a cookout. Literally.
We was hitting up people.
And when I got there, I don't know if I told you this, Reggie was like, I'm so glad you invited Diego and your brothers, because I just didn't get a hold to it. And I was like, just to cover my conscience, because sometimes people throw you shade that way. Yeah. I was just like, well, Reggie, I just knew if I came over here and told you that I didn't invite them, you would have a problem with it. Exactly. So that's the only reason I invited them. But needless to say, it's little things like that. Do you think we got a phone call? Do you think we got a text message? Do you think we got even a damn comment on a picture? Call me. I need to talk to you. I want to apologize. Anything of that nature to make things right.
And I feel bad for the cousin that didn't know what was going on. Was like, damn, where everybody at? Like, I invited you. I thought they were like, he felt like, damn, didn't nobody invite them? Like, That's crazy.
You know? Yeah. But you know what? This leads me to something else. And I was going to talk about this on the episode with me and you. But since you got the mic, we might as well go ahead and do it. And this kind of leads into it. And this is going to be my final point. Really like researching and looking back at like content and things of that nature. And I've really been deep diving in black content creators versus white content creators. There was recently a poll that came out with the top TikTok earners. And it was a comment made. It was some controversy behind it because it was no black content creators. So everybody was calling that out. Like, damn, that's weird.
Because they do most of the shit on there.
Right, because they do most of the shit on there. Do you think white content creators make more money because in the black culture we don't support each other?
I can see that. I can see why you say that. On TikTok, it's different. It's different sections because you have people that support on a lot of podcasting events.
Yeah.
A lot of podcast people support other businesses, even white businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good mixture. But I say in the TikTok, it's more of a selfish thing.
Yeah.
It's not a team thing. So I wouldn't say that's probably why they don't support as much because it's all about I got to get my money because this little fame right here it could last for 30 days or it could last for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I feel like because TikTok is just a more individual and selfish thing, the way to go, because there ain't no skits on TikTok like that. It's more pranks and all that, so that's probably why.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, I thought when I saw that, the first thing that went through my mind is like, that's just black people not supporting black people, unfortunately.
But black people have changed. We support each other now more than anything.
So.
I think especially on certain platforms, if you look at Instagram, you look at YouTube's, like people are bringing people up that ain't even that they know. Mm-hmm. That have potential, they even just giving them a shine. So just giving them a shine, if you got a platform, that's a big deal. Even if it's not a big platform, just to still give somebody some shine and make people go to them, that's a big deal. So I feel like that narrative is starting to change more. We're supporting each other, not in a lot of major stuff, but at least on that end, we are supporting each other.
That's fair. Kim, what did you think? Do you think black people just don't support it? Because Kim comes from a very artistic background. Kim is artistic herself. I'm not going to tell her story, and we're going to give her actually the time to actually talk about it and not have to give y'all like a little sentence at a later point in the season. But what did you think? Like, what do you think when it comes to black content creators and black communities supporting? And I also want to know what you think about the family thing.
Well, for the family thing, I have a similar family dynamic. So I understand being the black sheep and people loving my parents but not necessarily reaching out to their kids. Where, you know, I have a very close-knit immediate family and my grandparents and my cousins, but outside of that, it's not that. And so I feel like a lot of our elders have let us down.
Ooh, yes.
And they've dropped the ball as, you know, as far as keeping this thing rolling and keeping it together. And I feel like a lot of that responsibility is being put on us immaturely. So it's, you know, before it's our time for us to really take on that, because a lot of them didn't take it on until they got it together. A lot of us are still trying to put ourselves together before we could put a family together. So how is it going to be put on us? And y'all still here.
Yeah.
Why are y'all not doing more to keep us together until you can't no more? Because that's when we're gonna pick up the slack. It's not like we're not gonna ever do it, but it's y'all haven't even put the groundwork up for us to even pick that up and carry that for ourselves. Right. So that's before I get too far, because that'll take me
you
deep.
got some good valid points there, and it's sad that we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't see this, and I think everybody has their issue. I think every race has their issue. Like I was about to say, white people don't do this, but that's a damn lie. They be fucking each other's siblings and everything like that. Like they got a lot.
It be messed up, yeah.
Right. But I just don't understand why, with us being black people having to fight the issues that we fight on a day-to-day basis, why the one group of people that you should be able to latch on, your family, are the ones that'll let you down that deep and do it as if you're not gonna find out.
I think it's guilt. And division is easier than unity any day. I can stand on my own, but to stand with somebody else, that takes more of a backbone. Ooh. Because if I stand with you and you fall, it's my responsibility to make sure you get back up. If I stand by myself, do what you want to do. It's every man for himself. So I think division for a lot of older people, the division was ingrained in them. unfortunately, and that's not an easy thing to break, especially at an old age.
Yeah.
So I think, and it's no excuse, I don't think anybody gets a pass. But I just think that they're at an age and at a mindset to where it is what it is. I did my due diligence. I feel like what I did is justified. I'm over the age of trying to change my mind or anybody else's mind. I'm gonna do how I'm gonna do, and love it or like it, what you gonna do?
Yeah. That's 100% true. And now that you say that, the best thing I can say is, at the end of the day, we all are responsible for our actions. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Just because you don't handle a situation the way I would handle the situation doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you wrong, doesn't make you guilty or anything of that nature. But one thing I do know is that we have something called Judgment Day. And one thing I do know is we have something called the Holy Spirit and the Holy Ghost. And we got something called karma. I was about to say karma, but people don't know karma works through, that's how it's sent to you. So people don't understand that, and I can look at a couple of, and you know what? I'm sorry I cut you off for the black content creator question, but I gotta say this because this is what I really wanted to point out. This issue has stemmed since I can remember being a very young age. I remember going over these relatives' house during Christmas and being reached over for them to hand a gift to a cousin sitting behind me. And at this time I'm maybe 6 or 7 years old. Literally, I remember this one particular aunt reaching over me to give an envelope to a cousin that was sitting behind me, a light-skinned cousin, of course, and me feeling so like belittled, me feeling like I ain't shit. But the reason it didn't bother me is because on the flip side, my other side of the family, I'm the first biological grandchild. So I get that treatment on my other side. So trust me, I'm unbothered. But it's very hurtful to see your elder aunts and uncles, the ones that you want to look up to, the ones that you want to cling to, treat you like that. And then you see them at an older age and you starting to see, I guess, what's called karma take advantage, and you really want to help these people out. But every time you go to extend your arm to create that relationship, I get a flashback of that moment. Every single time. It never fails. It never fails. And I'm still trying to figure out how you cannot go to your niece's graduation. You know exactly who I'm talking to. Kim, black content creators, what did you think? Black people supporting families, what's up? How you feel about it?
I piggyback off of him. I think black people are doing better as far as supporting our own, but I feel like it's not an issue of support, but it's an issue of viewers. White content reaches more audiences. They get funding quicker. They get marketing quicker. Yeah. They get seen by agencies quicker. Yeah. So I think that even though we do support and repost and comment and like and share our own, I think and a lot of white content creators benefit off of the black viewer and the black content creators, but they're not held accountable for taking that content and putting it out to a larger audience. They're not held accountable, I feel like, to where it would actually make a difference. Yeah. And really be more fair. But I feel like they're being sought out more than the black content creators. So of course the support is going to be different. We could support our people all day long, but if we don't have the funding to back them, it's a view.
Yeah. To piggyback on what she said, I ain't trying to put her off the life. When you look at the white creators, and this is no disrespect, but this is just from what I've seen, from what we've been doing for years in the past, the way white creators move and their outside life and all that compared to black creators. I'm not faulting every black creator that's messed up and did some crazy stuff, but you have to look at how they move. So when it comes to marketing, I understand some of the reason why they may get more quicker than us, because they might do some stuff. It might not come out 20 years down the road.
Already got some lawyers.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm saying, but even how they move, how they move on their day to day. You know, some people, you go to a bar, like, oh, that's old boy. He ain't got a whole gang of people around him. He just chilling with it. And that's not, it just is what it is. I think we're getting better with that. We're trying to learn from our mistakes, but I think that's some of the reason why they probably get more than we would get.
But that put me on the mindset of a completely different vibe, though, because I feel like that goes to show that this is where I see how they handle themselves. Because I look at it business, and people don't know this. Diego does. I study digital marketing. I study story brand telling. I study all of that for the podcast sake, just to educate yourself on what you're doing. But I don't see white creators acting like, or white influencers acting like a lot of black influencers either.
Exactly.
Like, they don't put their drama on their stories.
That's what I'm saying. That's
When
that's
they
a
get
big
paid,
deal.
they don't have a big stack talking about something. Bitch, it's nothing.
But they take it as a true profession.
Right.
Once they start making money, they're not trying to say, I'm trying to be a regular person. They're like, this is my profession. This is what I get paid off of. This is what they pay me for. So I'm not going to move and put my relationship drama, my fights. I'm not doing that. So that's why I say it's just they take it as more of a profession off the rip than what we do.
Okay.
They definitely have a different point to prove, because you got to think in our households, wanting to be an entertainer or a performer or somebody in the limelight, that's more common. That's a more common goal that a lot of people in our community is looking for. For them, a lot of them get shunned for being creatives. A lot of them get cut off from their families for not wanting to be somebody in corporate, or not wanting to be a higher up, or, somebody in management, all this other things. So exactly. So a lot of them get a lot more flack for wanting to be a content creator. So when they do become that creative and they're now making money, sustainable income, that they don't have to have that dream or chase after something that their family wants, they have to take it more seriously a little bit, because they don't have, they may not have a backup plan, or they may not want to go to that backup plan because they know that they're going to be at the mercy of this family that's already cut them off, or already made them feel like they were going to make the wrong decision by not going after their dream. So they take it a little bit, they take it differently. So they don't want to put their business all out there, because I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah.
For us, because I feel like it's a gift and a curse, we're so well versed. Black people do anything and everything, but wanting to be in front of that camera, be in front of the limelight, they don't always take seriously what comes with that. You keeping your private business together and private. You making sure that your money is not flashed all over, everybody's internet, but it's invested. It's in the right hands. You're not having yes men around you because you want people to know that you have this, that, and the third, but you're putting the right crowd around you to make that your money flows, your ideas flow, that you're in a safe space to do what you do best.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point, because I can see exactly where you come from with that, because for me, being raised in a predominantly white area, I kind of felt the same way. My dad always wanted entertainment for me. He would always say, like, get into entertainment or fashion, something with one of those two. And for me, it was like, no, Dad, like, I gotta go to school, I gotta educate myself, because that's just gonna take too long. I always had a clip of Eddie Murphy talking about how he didn't take any other jobs, like he was broke. Yeah, he was no plan B. And I'd be like, bro, I'm not equipped for that. Like, I'm not gonna be sitting here. I need something coming in. So I always put it to the side. And then I do think back from the back end of it too, like, the reason it took me so long to really put myself on the internet is because I knew that, for one, anything gonna come up, even shit I done forgot about possibly could come up. And then also, it's a very thin line between my privacy and what I want to share. Which leads me to the last thing that I really want to pull out now that we're going to go ahead and wrap this up is, baby, you only got to tell people what you want them to know. With that being said, I'm not going to tell you bitches where to find me, because at this point, if you don't know how to find me, you'll never know how to find me. That's a lie. That's a lie. Let me take that back. Let me manifest that. Let me manifest something. If you don't know where to find us out, you're going to find out where to find us out really, really soon. So the Steam Sessions. That's it.